Hey, it's Ruby. Welcome to a huge book haul. I was looking at everything that I had to haul and I was like, damn, I have a ton of books this month. And we do these monthly, but I couldn't believe how many books I bought in May. Honestly, I was so good in April. I did such a good job in April. I think I only picked up 3 books and some of them were fairy loot. So it was like, okay, that was my subscription, but I do count that in my spending because I spent the money. But in May's not even over. I'm filming this on I don't know, May 13th or something. And I bought so many books. I think it was because it was my husband's birthday month, and I guess we are one. But he's such an enabler too. I did pick up a ton of books from Book Outlet that I was very excited for, but then also we were at the store to get essentials. We absolutely needed to stop somewhere, and we stopped at a Target of all places. And I was walking in the front, and you know how they keep books in the front, and I was like, oh, because they had the buy one get one half off, and I was like, damn. And they got me. So let's start off with the book boxes. I did get my latest Fairy Loot adult book, which was Starside by Alex Astor, but I immediately unhauled it because I just felt like it wasn't amazing. I didn't think it was ugly or anything, but it looked just like a book they had just done the previous month, which was, I think, the last Starborn Heir. So I didn't keep it. I sold it immediately at cost, with Pango fees in mind, and it sold literally as soon as I posted it because I wasn't putting it for $150 like a lot of people have been doing. So yeah, I'm happy it went to a good home, and I did pick up Starside, which I'll show you, but just like the normal one. Book boxes, Allurial. This is my very last Allurial. I canceled it because they've been, I don't know what they've been doing. First of all, they said they weren't doing sequels to books, and now apparently they are, but they're not just readily available. You have to sign up or something. I don't know. I'm not even getting into that mess because I canceled for a reason, but this was the last book that I got. You always get a bookmark, dedicated bookmark. It says Fish Out of Water, Forced Proximity, and Forbidden Love. And this is not the one I wanted. I actually wanted Bloodbound because I was reading the blurbs from the 3, and that one just seemed like the one that I would enjoy the most. But this one was so beautiful. I had to get it. I mean, look at it. It's so pretty. So I hope I love it. Here are the edges. Oh, they're so pretty. They're so cool. And then the end papers are the same front and back. And then you just have the blue book with the Allurial logo. So I do hope that I love it. But if I do love it, I'm not going to have matching books for the rest of the series. So that's unfortunate, but we're done with Allurial. On to my favorite book box currently. I love Aardvark, and I have been getting 3 books from them every month, and it always comes with some bookmarks. They're neat, they're different every single time, and I love the prints that they do. I think they're so fun, and they come with the little card of everything that was available for that given month. So I always pick 3 out of the 6, but this time I didn't just pick within the May picks. I picked some older ones too, just because I really wanted them. So first up, the April picks that I got are, first up, The Love Galaxy, and this was tagged as sci-fi, I believe. It has romance in it, but it was tagged under sci-fi, and it says here for the right reasons. And I believe in this, we're in a different planet, but it is a game show to win the prince and the princess hearts. So there are contestants to win both the prince and the princess hearts. And I think our FMC might be vying for both of their hearts. I don't know. So this just sounds interesting because it's a little bit more than just sci-fi. You've got the romance in there and the sci-fi and presumably some fantastical elements. So I was excited for this one and I picked it up. Then I got 2 horrors. First up, I got Our Sister's Keeper. This sounds crazy, dude. First of all, here's a book. Let's appreciate it. Let's appreciate that Aardvark doesn't put their logo on the spine, and that's one of the reasons that I love it. Also, their covers are this You know NARS packaging, NARS, the makeup brand. It's like super silky smooth, velvety smooth. But it doesn't leave fingerprints. And I love that. Anyway, this one says, okay, listen to this. Mississippi 1927, the groanings are coming. No town is perfect, but East Cobb comes close. It's a wealthy, all black, free town, untouched by white oppression. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's already the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Where ambitious Thea Elliott and her husband plan to make good on their big dreams. Little do they know that the idyllic town teems with ghoulish walking nightmares that only the women can see. Mara knows the groanings well. She is one of the carriers, women with the ability to pull traumatic memories from men. Populated by men entirely freed of their pain, East Cobb has flourished, even as the remnants of their memories haunt the town's women. This is so Stepford Wives role reversal, but with just like these elements that I'm just very intrigued by. So I had to pick this up, and it was tagged as horror, and that already sounded horrific. Like, what do you mean? Another horror, Japanese Gothic. I had to wait a little bit for this one because this was a reprint that they did, and I really wanted it because I've heard people just rave about this book. People really, really like this book, and the reason this was a special one was because they did like a special edition for it. And it's stunning. I filmed it for short form content. Look at this. Like, damn, dude, this is so cool. Look at the back. I love this right here. Oh, it's so good. The ombre. I mean, red's my favorite color. So we all know I love a blue book, but red is my favorite color. So I'm very excited for this one. I didn't know what it was about, but I read the blurb for the like short form content that I was doing, and apparently it's like a dual timeline situation, and it sounds interesting. It says it's woven with Japanese mythology. Two people living centuries apart discover a door between their worlds, and we're following October 2026, which hasn't even happened, and then October 1877. It says one of these people is a ghost, and one of these stories is a lie. Something is hiding beneath the house of sword ferns, and Lian's son will soon wish they'd never unburied it. So I'm excited to read this just because like everybody loves this, and I want to love it too. And hopefully I do. My May box. First of all, another one of the special books, reprint, Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. I feel like this is hit or miss with people, but more often than not, people really enjoy it. And I think it's really just interesting sounding. I've never read a book like this. It is tagged as horror, but I feel like it might be more than that. So here's the book itself. It's got the red foiling going on. Very similar to Japanese Gothic in terms of colors, but obviously its own unique design. And people describe this as, well, I don't want to ruin it for you. You know, I'm not gonna, because it doesn't say it in the blurb. But this is following an American Indian who offs people. I don't know. So it says, this is an American Indian revenge story captured in the vivid voices of the time by one of the new masters of literary horror, Stephen Graham Jones. And what I will say is that there's a paranormal element in this, and I'm very excited for that. So I can't wait to read that one. And then I picked this one up just because it seemed cute. Honestly, it just seemed cute. So this was a May book, How to Fake It in Society by KJ Charles. And I'm assuming this is an MM romance because it's got two dudes on the cover. I love how it has them right here. Cute. And this one was blurbed by my queen, Tekin Fisher. And it says, he planned to steal fortune. Instead, he lost his heart. So I'm curious to see how this goes because we all know back in the day, people just weren't openly out. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen. Like, you know, I just think it'll be fun. And then the last one was Grace and Henry's Holiday Movie Marathon. Yes, this is a Christmas book. I was going back and I picked this one because it had such amazing reviews for a holiday book, because I feel like people are kind of brutal with holiday books. Like, they don't always rate them super highly, but I do, because if you've been following me regularly, you know that I am a sucker for a Christmas book. I love them. I'm very lenient with them because I love them so much. But this was so highly rated that I had to do it. I don't know anything about it. It says, a sentimental advertising creative and a blunt, no-nonsense bar owner find a second chance at love while binge-watching iconic holiday movies in this poignant and heartwarming romance from the author of Charm City Rocks and All Together Now. That doesn't sound interesting to me, but it's got such high ratings that I have high hopes. So those were my aardvark books for April and May. Let's move on to the books that I picked up at the store. First up, I do have like a Pango pick that I picked up from somebody. And this, I've already read it. I actually had an arc of this back in the day, and then it came out. And it is Not in My Book by Katie Holt, and this was like an academic rivals to lovers. Rosie writes romance novels and listens to Taylor Swift on loop. Aiden is a literary fiction writer who doesn't believe in happy endings. They're about to write a book together. What could go wrong? So yeah, this is very reminiscent of like Beach Read, kind of. He's a lit fic guy, she's a romance girl, and they're in school together. And I think their professor forces them to write a book together, but like swap. Like, she's in charge of the lit fic parts and he's in charge of the romance part or something like that. I don't outright remember the whole thing. I just remember really liking it. Also, the FMC is Ecuadorian and no, Peruvian. My bad. Peruvian American. And I just like to see Latinas in books. So there's that. I've already read that one, but I wanted to reread it and I saw somebody selling it, so I picked it up. I picked up Writer because this is the only one that I need from this series. Was this smart? I don't know, because I'm currently reading Cash because it's a part of my April TBR. And it's a little cringy, but it's been done. So I'm going to proceed and read this one and see how it goes. But yeah, all the like first prints have the pretty edges and they're actually really nicely made. Sometimes they're not, but Bloom did a good job with these. So there's that. Okay, next up we have a bunch of hardcovers, and these were because of my husband. He made these possible. I really wanted one of these, which was, I'll start off with this one, Yesteryear, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And when we went to pick up the stuff at the store, he took me to multiple locations looking for this book because I just couldn't find it anywhere, and I finally did. I do live by a really, really small Barnes & Noble, so they don't always have things in stock because they'll just order a couple and then they sell out right away. So yeah, I was very happy to finally get Yesteryear. Everybody's been reading this. I want to read it too. Everybody says it's not what you expect. It's crazy. We follow this influencer who is literally lying about her trad wife life. And then she gets transported to like 1855. And now she's really having to live that trad wife life. And yeah, I'm very curious because everybody that I see reading this and like vlogging it is like, that's not what I was expecting. And I'm going into this just with an open mind because I want to love it. One that I got on a whim, had only heard one singular person talk about it, but talk about it very positively, Into the Blue by Emma Brody. It says it's a love story, but I'd say it's more than a romance. I feel like it read more like a contemporary fiction book. And I read it in my latest Bookshelf Ultimatum video, which I think is already up. I'll link it up top and down below. I freaking love this so much. I read it, like, I don't know if it was in one sitting, but in one go, girl, because it was just really good to me. And it's really, really beautiful. So yeah, I was very excited to have picked it up and read it immediately and loved it because it was definitely an impulse buy. Another one that I've seen a lot of people read and really enjoy is The Correspondent by Virginia Evans. This is a very, very, very teeny short book, but one thing that I've noticed, and I set up my shelves, and I have now a section for literary fiction or contemporary fiction, is that I just really like the genre. I really, really do. And I don't own many of them. I own mostly romances and fantasies because those are like my primary genres. But something about lit fic recently, I've just been freaking obsessed with it. And I needed more books. So I picked this one up and I hope I love it. Just like everybody else. But I feel like maybe this one will be hit or miss. Who knows? We'll see. And then I picked up Star Side by Alex Astor because, as I said, I got the Fairy Loot edition, but I just really didn't like what they did with it. And I just wanted the regular deluxe edition, but I was at the store and this is the one that they had. Well, actually, they did have the regular one, but then my husband and my friend were like saying they preferred this one, so I got it. I got pressured into this one. But I mean, they all look very similar, and ultimately I just wanted to read the book. Here it is. The difference between the regular one and this one is that it has color, and in the regular one it's just black. No, it's just like, it's like white. You can't really see that circle, and then the edges are different. Here we have the swords. The regular one has a dragon, but it does have sword magic, so I feel like it makes sense. Also, the map in this one is colored, and it's just black and white in the regular one. And then this one is this like beautiful burgundy-ish color with this art, whereas the regular one is just black. I think it does have art, but it's just black and silver. So I think those are the differences. And then maybe this one has bonus content in the back. I'm not sure. But yeah, I had this on hold on Libby. And then I was listening to the audiobook. And then I only got like 30% of the way in. And it got sent back. And I was like, well, damn. Because I wasn't done with that. So I picked up the book so that I can probably start it again and finish it. Since I ran out of time. Which sucked. Let's take a look at my book outlet order because I do have quite a bit of books that I got from Book Outlet, and I was very, very happy with all of these. So first up, I feel like this is one of two that I was super, super excited for. I found Slewfoot by Brom, which I was at Barnes & Noble looking for, what's it called? Yesteryear, and I saw this, and every time I go, I see it and I want to pick it up and I never do. So when I saw it on Book Outlet, I was like, I have to. And it arrived in great, great condition. People don't like that it's big and square, but I do like it. So here's just like your average paperback compared to the book. So yeah, it is square and it is bigger, but I don't mind that. So yeah, Brom actually has his own illustrations in the book too, which I think is really cool. But I'm very excited to read this, and I really, really hope that I love this because I just think it's such a cool book. Like, it looks cool, it sounds cool. Set in colonial New England, Slewfoot is a tale of magic and mystery, of triumph and terror from acclaimed author and artist Brom. And like, just look at it, like, it's so cool. Anyway, there's that. Then the other one that I was really, really excited for is down here. So let me fish it out. We've got book 2, Following Empire of the Vampire, Empire of the Damned by J. Kristoff. And they actually had the third and final book also, but only in hardcover because I don't think it's out in paperback yet. And I live for these paperbacks because they're the big oversized ones that are so incredibly floppy. I mean, look at it. And also these have artwork, which I'm pretty sure the hardcover does too, but I just love how big and oversized they are. And yeah, I'm excited to read the first one and then continue on. And I hope that I love them because I really, really want to. I've heard that this has a lot of like crude language, but that doesn't bother me. I literally could not care less if they curse every single page. Then I picked up a couple romanticities. We've got Silver Cloak by Elke. Let's start that again. Silver Cloak by L.K. Steven. I've only read one other of her books, but it was a YA book, and it was Our Infinite Fades, which I liked, but I didn't love because I wanted a little bit more out of it. So hopefully this is good. This is book 1, and book 2 will be coming out soon. So I'm happy to have it. Oh, look at this mat. That's really pretty. And this is just like your first print edition. We've got some embossing. It's pretty, but is it gonna be good? I don't know. It says, magic is fueled by pleasure and pain. An obsessive detective infiltrates a brutal gang of dark mages, knowing that one wrong move will get her killed. That sounds like a cool magic system, but I think I saw somebody say that the magic system wasn't evenly distributed between pain and pleasure, which makes sense in a romantasy, if I'm being honest. Then we have Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. This is book 1. And I have been better at just getting book 1 and not the whole series. And this is one that I don't know if I'm going to love. I prefer 100% the indie cover over this one, but this is the only one you can get now. Unless you want to pay a crap ton of money, which I don't. And so I picked this up. But I feel like her books are hit or miss for me. The only ones that I've liked so far are The Serpent and the Wings of Night, but I didn't like the second book, The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, and I did love Six Scorched Roses. So we'll see how this one goes. If I love it, then I will continue on. If I don't, I will unhaul it. Very good at unhauling books. We've got a thriller, The Perfect Marriage, which I never really buy thrillers because I get sent a lot of thrillers from publishers, but I have heard good things about this one, so I wanted to pick it up. I think there's a book 2 out because I think it's The Perfect Divorce. I saw it at Barnes and it had sprayed edges, but yeah, I'm going to read this one and see how it goes. And if I love it, then I'll pick up The Perfect Divorce. But I hear good things about this, and I'm not like super experienced with thrillers, so a lot of them work for me because I don't expect anything, you know? Then we have some sci-fis. We have The Murderbot Diaries, volumes 2 and 3. I have volume 1, so now I have 2 and 3. And the good thing about these is that they cost the same as if you were to get them just the single edition. So the volumes come with 2 stories in a book. So volume 2 has books 3 and 4, and then this is books 5 and 6, and I prefer that. I prefer these covers too. So yeah, now I have them all. I don't think the latest one is out yet, so yeah, now I'm fully caught up with that in terms of the story, which they're such short little stories, but I got them. And then I picked up, this is the first and the final book in series, so I'm missing the ones in between. I think I'm missing 3 in between. Yeah, the Right Move, Caught Up, and Play Along. I'm missing all of those. But I've got Mile High and Rewind It Back by Liz Tom Ford. And I read this first one recently, I think also in that Bookshelf Ultimatum video. And I want to continue on. I got just the white ones, not the sprayed edges ones, but these are the ones they sent me. So now I've got to find the rest of these. I've got to scour the stores and find the rest to match. So that kind of sucks, but I did look at the store that day and I didn't see them, so that's unfortunate. But I've got to search sooner rather than later, because then they're going to stop making them like this and they're all going to be just the white edges, and then I'm not going to have a matching set. So those are the ones I picked up from Book Outlet. Let's move on to Publisher Mail. We do have just books that are already out and then ARCs. For the completed books, let's start off with Bloodbound. I was so excited to have gotten this because, like I told you, with the Allurial one, I wanted this one, but I chose the other one and I did not know I was getting this, so I was really, really happy about it. And this is such a beautiful book. The edges are gorgeous. We've got the blue to the red, and not only that, but then the covers, like you can do red or blue, and the cover quality is the same. So no matter how you have it, it's the same material, that velvety smooth material, the same foiling. So I really, really love that they did that. It was definitely a great touch. And then you have the naked hardcover. The end papers are absolutely stunning. So beautiful. Let's see. The back is the same. So I'm very excited to read this. I don't know what it's about, but I'm figuring it's romantasy. And this was actually one of my book club contenders, but then they ended up choosing Daggermouth, I think. So I'll be reading this one. I'm excited. And then we got a copy of Unbound, which I love these covers. I did unhaul my first two books because now that they're doing these, I prefer these. So I've got to pick up books 1 and 2 to match this one. And then book 4 should be coming out soon this year. So I need to read the first 2 so I can read this one. But look at the covers. I just feel like it's such an upgrade from just the OG like green and blue that they were doing. Then I received The Caretaker by Marcus Clear, and I read his first book, or like really popular book, We Used to Live Here, because my friend was talking about it because I told her I got this one. And she said she read that one and it was like really frustrating. So I was very curious and I read it. I actually really enjoyed it. But I can see why people would be frustrated with it because not only is it an open-ended ending, but you also really have to pay attention and then also kind of read between the lines a little bit, but more so pay attention because like there's so many little details in there. But yeah, I'm curious to see how this one goes. I haven't seen great things about this one. So that sucks because I don't own that first one and I do own this one. So yeah, but hopefully it's good. I'm gonna remain hopeful. I got a completed copy of Save the Date, which is an arc I had before. This is a romance. We followed 3 women, the bride, the maid of honor, and the sister. I got a completed copy of How to Fake a Southern Gentleman. These 2 girls are trying to help this guy, just kind of like, it says, in this rom-com reimagining of My Fair Lady, which I don't know what that is. Sorry. 2 women team up to make over a sexy hustler and take down one of Atlanta's most corrupt men. I got this copy of Don't Let Him In. This is the paperback. Paperback's now out. Before we just had the hardcover by Lisa Jewell, a thriller. And then we have these other 2 that are already out, which these I didn't have arcs of, so I don't know anything about them. This first one is We Lived on the Horizon. Again, no idea what this is about. It says the line between maker and machine has never been thinner. Ooh, that sounds creepy. Wow. So bioprosthetics approaching. She's determined to preserve her legacy by creating a physical being, Nyx. Ooh, we all know the robots go crazy. And then this is called The Book of Lost Hours. And this was a GMA book. And it says, who would you rewrite history for? One fateful evening, 11-year-old Lisette finds herself trapped in the time space, a vast enchanted library where memories of the dead are bound into books. That sounds amazing. Why have I never heard of this? This one has promise. So we'll see how these go. And then we've got some arcs. So I've got an arc of Drawn Together by Mercedes Ron. I've never read anything by this author. It comes out on August 4th, 2026. He was my protection and my greatest weakness. 20-year-old Marfil Cortez lives the kind of life people dream of from afar. The daughter of a powerful businessman, she spends her days juggling Columbia classes, stolen hours at her by also like a rich girl. I'm guessing this is like bodyguard type romance. So there's the first one, and it's a really beautiful arc. And then we have an arc. This is book 2. I read the first. They had sent me the arc of the first book, and I read it, and I sent it to my friend because I was like, I think she would like this, and she loved it. I liked it. She loved it, but she's a dark romance girl, and I'm not. But I do want to read this because I read that first one, and then I am going to share this with her so that she can read it because she really loved these. I don't remember what book one was called. Love Me, Stalk Me. And in the first book, the girl, she has this employee who is like recently hired to her company. She manages a luxury store and he's in charge of security, and he ends up stalking her and pretending that he is her AI boyfriend. So she's on her little app thinking she's texting with her AI boyfriend, and it's this creep, but he's a love interest. So toxic. And in this one we follow her best friend, who at the end of that book goes crazy, man. Like, I was like, what the hell? Who is this girl? So I am very interested to see what is her deal. And the whole AI thing, I think, continues. But it, instead of like, you know, an employee, it's her ex-boyfriend, I think, that is pretending to be the AI boyfriend, because she's using the same app. She's actually the one that introduced the friend to the app. And then we have Curse Keeper by Alexandra Christo. Oh, I didn't tell you when this one came out. This one comes out on also August 4th, 2026. This one comes out on November 3rd. So we've got a ways to go. It says, from the best-selling author of To Kill a Kingdom comes a sweeping romantasy in which a human guardian for a library of curses and a fallen fae form an uneasy alliance to unravel a dark conspiracy that threatens war. Ooh, romantasy with fae, humans. There's parts, there's a prologue, there's all the makings of a good romantasy. So we'll see how this one goes. I do really like the cover. I think that's really, really cool. So there's that. And then we've got an arc of The Wash Ashores, which this comes out June 30th. It looks like it's just like a contemporary fiction. Everyone needs a safe harbor to weather life's storms. So we follow 30-year-old Holly, who returns to her grandmother Francine's inn in Cape Cod. So this is giving me like Ellen Hildebrand vibes. So we'll see. This is probably a good summer read, which would make sense that it comes out in June. We've got The Natural Order by Matthew Aldrich. This cover is also really cool. The people in line. This one says, a provocative, propulsive debut novel about a billionaire tech visionary who creates a method to stop aging, putting him in the crosshairs of an extremist group and forcing a tense reunion with his strange son, who is dying of old age. His son is dying of... Oh, shit. He is 122 years old and appears to be 50. Interesting. And his son is dying of old age. Why didn't you share with him earlier? It's strange, I guess. This cover's creepy. Strange Bedfellows. This comes out on September 22nd. Look at it. It's like a cat, but then there's a human hand. A dark and steamy debut novel about a girl who is sometimes a cat and the witch she loves, as secrets from her past threaten to unravel the delicate balance of her present. So this is a sapphic witchy book. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess we'll see. It literally says cat. Cat. Cleo. Weird, but we'll check it out. It's a good Halloween-y read, I guess. Heavy Cream. This one comes out September 29th. That's my cousin's birthday. The cover I also really like. Landing in New York's high society and underground art scene after her mother abandons her, street-smart 16-year-old Jerry contends with the efforts of 3 different women, hoping to mold her in their image. Ooh, I think this one's going to be hit or miss from me. It doesn't seem like something that I would love, but I do love this cover, and that is why I accepted this arc. So we'll see how that one goes. And then we have Madeline McKnight Signs Off, which this is a huge paperback, which I love because look how floppy it is. This comes out on November 3rd, 2026. An extraordinary exploration of friendship that spans the broadest universal themes of love and loyalty to the most intricate, intimate, and memorable details of human life. It's never too late to make amends. So a friendship book. We love that. And the cover is really cute. And then the last arc is this one, also a really big floppy arc. The Three Graces of Pearl Street. This is a busy cover, but that's what we got. September 1st, 2026. This one says, a truly captivating tale spanning generations of strong women. This poignant debut features unforgettable characters who discover that it's never too late to stand up for what's right, make a fresh start, and fall in love all over again. That was Annabelle Monaghan's blurb of this book. Again, this one's another one where it might be hit or miss for me, but I'm always willing to give something a try. So we'll see how this one goes. But those are all the books that I received in the past month, or that I bought in the past month. Big thank you to Atria. Again, all the links will be down below. Let me know if you've read any of these, if you love any of these, especially those romantasy books, because I always get a little nervous with romantasy, but I do love it so much. I actually plan on rereading a lot of romantasy book ones to read the book twos. So maybe we'll have a reading vlog where I reread stuff, because I want to do like Quicksilver, When the Moon Hatched, I think it's called. Which was the other one that I wanted to reread? I can't remember, but it was another one of those like really popular ones. Metal Singer is another one. There's a couple where I want to reread them before I read book 2. So I might do a reading vlog. But yeah, thanks so much for hanging out today. As always, give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you very soon with another one.